Now we're in for some gale-forced winds, astrologically speaking, over April, and it will come in large part in the form of the Cardinal Grand Cross. The Grand Cross is where 4 planets are opposite each other in the sky, and they make a cross shape. Also they make a square shape, so it could be called a grand square, and they're all in cardinal signs, hence it being a cardinal grand cross. And it's very pokey, it's very potent energy, the cardinal energy. And so these energies will be colliding, getting very close and tight from mid-month onwards, but already they're kind of ramping up over March, particularly the back end of March, and will still be felt, I think, going on into May. And this collision of these forces will once again set up a standing wave frequency, as it were, a sort of cosmic signature of intent for a general loosening and unraveling and the continuing of this unraveling of corroded, outmoded establishment structures in our societies, and massive change related to corporations and organizations, but also our close and personal lives, the programs that we're running in our heads and running our lives by. And also, you know, a big one here is belief system. And a lot of that is coming loose, it's working loose, and we'll be scrapping outmoded behaviors and ways of thinking, ways of conceptualizing, really, and beliefs, as this shifting consciousness intensifies, as this babe of light is birthed already on December the 21st, 2000, birthed into this dimension, and now is really bedding in more deeply and becoming a lot more trouble, because it's a lot faster, finer frequency, and it is provoking, and it is what is underpinning this massive change. And those of us who have been around here for a long time can actually compare how it used to be in the past with how it is now, and obviously the writing on the wall with how it's going to be in the future. And those of you who are a lot younger don't have any personal experience to compare that with, except from what you've been told in the way of story or books or films or whatever. And so in April, yes, we really do get a strong whiff of this aroma of, you know, in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind, and these really are vibrational winds blowing through April time. And surprising turns of events, anything from the weather to the way we shop or do our banking, or you know, just amazing things could be sort of emerge from the earth right under our feet. Like I spoke about that in about 2008. You know, the earth is giving up some of her secrets, like the recent discovery of the real plan for Noah's Ark, which turns out to be a huge coracle shaped disc shaped convex bowl, really, kind of woven partly. I don't know all the details, but it was on a cuneiform tablet from Mesopotamia, which has just recently been interpreted. Now, in this Grand Cross configuration, we have Mars, which will be lighting the fuse, as it were. That's why it's such a big deal in April. But Mars is in its fall in Libra and is going backwards, so it won't be a damp squib. But what I think is going to happen is that Mars's natural knee-jerk response is to, you know, go on the attack. Take the initiative, you know, kind of just sort of almost like shoot from the hip. But in Libra, it's very restraining. Libra's an air sign. Libra likes to think about things, and particularly in reverse. So this could mean it's working in this way where the smouldering fire of Mars in Libra will be more turned to observe, examine, negotiate, use diplomacy, This may mean, you know, that this willingness to talk things down, you know, to figure it out, to weigh the odds, to look at all sides, perhaps even sit on the fence, and there can be like a siege or a stalemate type situation, I suppose, as well, could be going on, and it would not be a good idea to launch any kind of proceedings, if you have to, or a major project or negotiation or offensive, you know, throwing down the gauntlet over over the time actually Mars is going retrograde. Wait till May, after May the 19th. I noticed that Putin went and did that, so that's going to be fraught with all kinds of hold-ups and delays and go very, very slowly. But this can affect machinery, this Mars going in reverse, there's no doubt about that. Anything which drives the engine, you know, like a power source, maybe, I don't know what, spark plugs, pistons, I don't know, that kind of thing. So yeah, so to watch out for that. And I'm going to do another little video on Mars retrograde. So here we have this history-making lineup happening in the heavens in April 2014, but if we overlook the position of Venus, we do so at our peril. And Venus enters Pisces and makes a beautiful positive aspect from watery Pisces to 3 planets in this hot, powerful, dynamic grand cross figure in our skies. And this wonderful aspect from Venus will provide an energy release mechanism or safety valve, allowing much of the tension to find a way out of the Grand Cross pressure cooker. I mean, it is almost like a volcano with the magma beginning to boil inside, and then this Venus aspect to it just produces this one little kind of escape hole, sort of like valve thingy, and it's kind of enough to keep the thing just in there without a huge explosion. And there is the most amazing invitation coming to us from the skies during this challenging Grand Cross to tap into all things Venus in Pisces, which is love, compassion, seeing it in a philosophical kind of a way, whatever the it is, kind of shrugging and going, okay, well, it all kind of, you know, what goes around comes around, or it just all kind of it's like water. Pisces, it finds its level. It finds its level. And, you know, it's quite a big ask, really, when we're so involved in something and getting hot under the collar. But here is the invitation to seize the chance to serve the common good and care for one another, to try to intuit, to understand where, you know, one another is coming from in their concepts, in their way of thinking, and not just, you know, about the inevitable clashing that this tense, hot Grand Cross energy can produce. Venus is at her most sensitive in altruistic Pisces. Here she finds her empathy and her deeper understanding through walking in another's shoes. This is the scene in the play where we can put our own selfish desires, and I would say selfish fears, on one side and step up to the plate for something bigger than our own personal knee-jerk responses, personal needs, personal way I see it. And amazing acts of selflessness may be witnessed under this placement of Venus, while the tough, tense, conflicting energies of the evolver and transmuter Pluto and the transformer and disruptor Uranus are set alight by the striking match of Mars firing the fuse over April. And this position of Venus does hold the gift for us to get over our myopic, petty prejudices and see the bigger picture. Those who are ready will grasp that ultimately the situations we find ourselves in aren't about right or wrong, this way, that way, black, white, yin, yang, differences. In fact, they will grasp that it is actually more about, okay, what do we have in common here? You know, we're both thinking thoughts, we've both got concepts, we're both standing on the earth with the sky over our head. I mean, you know, there's a lot of commonalities. We both have a pair of arms, you know, eyes, mouth, Anyway, and so not only with other humans though, but no matter what their level of consciousness, whether they are above you in status or not, but with all created beings on this starship Earth that we are all on together and beyond. But once more I say, the planets incline, they do not compel. And in this world of free choice, it is up to us to make that call, that minute by minute choice, to silence the negative mind chatter, the doubting Thomas in us, and reach for that higher perspective. To really take that leap, to ask what is appropriate here? What does serve the common good? What is my standpoint on this one here? Am I going to just go, into that automatic, almost like blind blame game thing? I mean, this long-running thing going on between Uranus and Pluto is a game changer, and those who are ready to grasp what the gift of it is and not just be lost in the squalls and storms of its disruptive side are going to be able to get it on a level and to an extent that they've never got it before. So be aware that Pisces is not too good at boundaries. And not very good at being realistic sometimes as well. So there is a danger of being overly influenced or guilted into or out of something, or duped into something, kid yourself into something which is distorted or false. It's kind of a bit of a hall of mirrors sometimes, Pisces. And so use the Mars retrograde in Libra to that light to do some deeper examination of maybe, traditional ways of thinking, belief systems. And even if somebody is yelling at you and stirring things up, or that moron is parroting his party politics and company policies in your ear, if you can keep cool, calm, and just think, okay, well, everybody has their way, different strokes for different folks, whatever, no matter how annoying it is, to whatever small degree one can reach for that, one should try to reach for that. And of course, those who are closest to us, like family members, really know how to kind of, turn that screw and press that button, and that's obviously going to be quite a hard challenge for some of us if we've got these energies happening in that home area there to do with family. For some of us over April, we will be catapulted into situations which automatically switch the frequency just like that, and into that more expanded sort of unified consciousness rather than divisive, consciousness, unity consciousness. And for the rest, well, we'll just have to see, have to try and hold our attention in our hearts and get out of our jealous, judgmental heads as much as we possibly can. And I hope that was interesting, and I'll speak with you again soon.